Welcome to the Next Level Leaders Podcast with me, Dr. Joseph Walker. This podcast is designed to offer strategies in moving vision to reality. Leaders can expect to be mentored, inspired, and challenged to succeed at the next level. So prepare to be exposed, empowered, and equipped for excellence. Thank you for connecting and allowing this space to become an opportunity for growth and collaborative learning. Now, let's go on this journey together and spark the change we wish to see in ourselves, our teams, and the world. Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Walker. Thank you so much for tuning in to Next Level Leader Podcast. So grateful to have all of you connected once again. This is the place where we grow and share strategy that can help you as a leader evolve into the person that God would have you to become. Thank all of you for sharing this podcast with so many people around the world. Our objective is to reach as many people as we can. We're trending toward 1 million subscribers, and we need you to help us share it. Whatever platform you're listening, share it with someone else. Let them know. If you're a leader, you're a person that's thinking outside the box, this is the podcast that can help you become a better you. I want to thank all of you so for following me on Instagram, Joseph Walker 3. That's the place where we connect. That's the place where we can share. And of course, also my website, josephwalker3.org. It's a wonderful place. You can get information and material that can empower you, my books and etc. Even my latest book, Leadership and Loneliness, you can get it there. You can also get it on Amazon. So I want to thank you. I really do. I'm so excited about this next subject today. It's one that a lot of folks have been asking me to do a podcast on, and it's about how do you stay organized? Do you know the fulfillment of mission? We talked about that last week. Is really tied to your ability to remain organized. One of the things you have to realize, if your life is full of clutter, if your life is full of distractions, organization will be difficult at best. But an organized life, listen carefully, is a productive life. It is a fruitful life. So today, I want to help you understand what organization looks like. I want to give you some principles that I believe can be a tremendous blessing to you. You know, my life runs in so many different realms between so many different meetings and things that I do that without organization, it would all collide. So what's important in staying organized? I'm going to give you 7 things to think about. Here it is. Number 1, be honest about your disorganization. Own it. Don't justify it. You know, you're like that person, you walk into their office and everything is everywhere, and they say, but I know where everything is, because you've learned how to function in disorder. Be honest about when I need to find something, I don't know where it is. It takes me too much time to find it. Because what you don't realize is that disorganization is robbing you of precious time to be productive. Most people who say they don't have enough time in the day, if you were to go back and realize how you had to sort through and figure out how to make things fit or where things were, the minutes, if not the hours, will be given back to you. So out of the gate, let's be honest about those areas in our lives where we are completely disorganized. Make a list and say, here are areas that I know I need to clean up in my life, in my office, in my schedule. How do I get to that place? Now, here's the other thing. I think it's important. Plan ahead. I say this so often, people miss it. I'm a planner. And that's probably due to the fact that I'm very A-type. But what I try to do is I try to take into consideration what could potentially happen to hinder me from delivering what I need to produce. You have to think ahead. Let me ask you a question. If a program started at 7 o'clock and you live 30 minutes away from it, are you the person who walks out of the door at 6:30? Or are you the person that walks out the house at 5:45? If you're the person that walks out at 6:30, chances are you're habitually late for everything because you did not give yourself time to get through the traffic, to find a parking space, to walk from your car to the actual event, to get in your seat. So the event has already started, and here you come, being ushered in by the usher. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, because you are not planning ahead. Or you're frustrated because you caught a train, or you're frustrated because there was a wreck on the interstate. What I do, not only in events like that, but in my own life, I plan ahead. I always factor in what could potentially hinder my time, and I'd rather be there early and prepared than to show up just on time. Part of what I do as a pastor, I plan ahead my sermons. I plan ahead my Bible studies. I plan ahead my meetings. So I work from the front and not from the rear, not always playing catch up. And so it's important. Now you may say, but I don't have the time to do that. Oh, that's such a wonderful thing. That takes so much discipline. Well, it does. It does take discipline. But here's the third thing I want you to really consider. If it's not in your purpose, it shouldn't be on your calendar. Let that one sink in. If it's not on your purpose or in your purpose, it should not be on your calendar. There are a lot of things we put on our calendar, a lot of things that we do that have nothing to do with our purpose, nothing to do with where we're going. But we take it on and take it on and take it on. But let me be clear. There just comes a moment. You've got to streamline your calendar, and you've got to be willing to say no to some things to get that time back so you can stay a little bit more organized. You have enough to do already. Occupy your whole day. Part of staying organized is knowing I'm not going to allow anything to encroach upon my schedule that could hinder me from being productive in other areas of my life. For example, your schedule is set. Somebody wants to meet with you. You say, okay, no problem. I can meet after this. And then another person, I can meet after this. So you're cutting into that time and cutting into that time. And now you're not having dinner with your family. You're cutting into that time. Now you're going to bed much later because you got to stay up and get ready for the next day. You're cutting into that time. And now you're frustrated because your life is not organized. That's why I tell people the third thing is critical. Keep proper boundaries. Man, if you could just learn the power of boundaries. Part of being organized is just saying, listen, I have to maintain a certain amount of boundaries of what I will and will not do, who I will and will not allow in my life, and what things I will and will not say yes or no to. See, boundaries matter because people will begin to respect those boundaries. But if you don't respect them, nobody else will. Organized people have boundaries. They know at this time I'm doing this, at that time I'm doing that. That's called boundaries. Nobody should compromise a boundary in your life when you are an organized individual because people know every second, every minute, every hour is occupied with purpose. Here's the next thing, and listen to this. It's really okay to say no, people. It's really okay. You can't be a person that's so tied up into other people's emotions and even their opinions about you doing something or choosing not to do it. You have to factor in, does this thing that's being required of me fit into my life plan? Does this thing fit into my life in terms of my relationship with my children or my family or et cetera? It's like, this is what's important. You have to be willing to know that no is an answer. I tell people this all the time. You have to do it without a conscience. You can't own somebody else's response to your no, because often our disorganization is because we are trying to boil the ocean. You know, we're eating the apple, trying to eat it with one bite. You have to learn very clearly, you can't do everything. I said this on so many occasions. You can't do everything. Can you say this with me? I can't do everything. Whatever I'm called and assigned to do, I'm going to do that well, and I'm gonna be okay saying no. The older I get, the easier it is to say no because there's no pressure there. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I don't need anybody to create the situation for me. It's like if it doesn't fit into my life plan, it's not going to happen. So it's also important that when you think about your schedule in your life, here's something that I want to talk about in a very practical way. Everything needs a place. Everything needs a place. Now, those of us who are A-type will tell you, you come to our homes, everything has a place. Like nothing's just random. Like everything has a place. The cups have a place. The forks have a place. The storage has a place for all the different things that's categorized. So that's how A-type people believe and think. So that means that even in your own schedule and how you operate your business or operate your life, everything has to have its place. I'll give you a practical example of that. I'm pastor of the Mount Zion Church of Nashville, Tennessee. I'm presiding bishop of the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. I serve on the board of Tennessee State University and Meharry Medical College and Citizens Bank here in Nashville. But everything has its place. I know what days I meet with Full Gospel. I know what days I meet with Mount Zion. I know what days I have the bank board meeting. So what I do, I designate those days for that. And I don't let anything else come in those hours. So from this time to that time, that's the bank stuff. And after that, that's the church stuff. And after that, that's this and that. So I designate everything has to have a place because if you're just all over the place, just random, your mind can't even go between those extremes with a great deal of clarity and or productivity. Give things a place. Set aside days and say, on this day, from this time, I'm focused on this only. On this day to that day, I'm focused on this only. This is what I'm doing. Doesn't mean I may not address other areas, but it means at least I have a flight plan. No pilot takes off without a flight plan. Flight plan shows him what the weather is, the altitude, what the other traffic might be when he takes off, what degrees to turn right or left. That's called a flight plan. That can hold up a plane. You could be on a plane, no mechanical issue. We're just waiting on paperwork because that pilot knows. I can't leave until I know the flight plan. As a leader, you have got to say, what's my flight plan? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? How is this going to happen? Everything needs a place. Does that make sense? Every single thing needs a place. Now, let's talk about efficiently using time. Number 7, let's really break this down. To effectively use time means that I must value it, right? To be organized is about how I use my time, how I organize my life. I have to look at it. And there's an acronym I've used before. Many of you may be hearing this for the first time, but I think it's going to be a life changer for you. I want you to write down the word Ohio. O-H-I-O. Got it? That's going to be an acronym for only handle it once. You go open up your emails, deal with the emails while you have them open. The moment you close the emails, you've just given yourself another action item for another day. It's rolled over and piled up. So if you only handle it once, if I open up my emails, I'm dealing with those emails now, unless there's some unforeseen circumstance, but I'm learning to Ohio. I'm learning to Carpe Diem. I'm learning now to make sure I manage my time effectively. Because do you know you won't get that time back? Time is that unredeemable quality that none of us will ever get back. So you got to think about that. All the time we waste, time you're wasting scrolling down social media, looking at other people's lives, time you're wasting just glancing off into nowhere. There comes a moment you've got to like really pull the reins in and say, I'm gonna manage my time better. I have a principle. We have a mantra in our ministry. I got that from Dr. Isaac Greggs in Southern University Marching Band when I was playing in the band there. He used to say, be in the right place at the right time with the right equipment, ready to concentrate. And then he turn around, look at us and say, and if you're on time, you're late. Fact is, that was so drilled into me, that discipline of time, that people know when it comes to our ministry, when it comes to anything tied to me, they're like, if he says 7:00, you better believe it's going to be 7:00. I don't care if it's 7:00 and 58 seconds before 7:01. He is coming on that Zoom. That program is starting because I value time. And if you value time, you don't waste other people's time. Sometimes we're so disorganized, we don't plan ahead, and we got people just waiting and waiting and waiting. How many things have you gone to that somebody invited you to that was supposed to start at 4 or 5 o'clock, and you got there and they were still setting up? Oh, we're just waiting on this and we're waiting on that and we're going to be starting soon. You know what happened? Somebody didn't plan ahead. Somebody didn't lay out certain boundaries. And so therefore now you're tying up everybody's day waiting on you. Tying up everybody's other plans waiting on you. As a leader, I'm very sensitive to that. And I want people to know time matters. Listen, let's think about this for a second. If we're going to be organized, be honest about our disorganization. You got that? How long is that list for you today? And then also, plan ahead. Whatever it takes, plan ahead. Number 3, make sure if it's not in your purpose, it should not be on your calendar. Number 4, keep proper boundaries. See? Keep proper boundaries. Number 5, it's okay to say no. It's really okay to say, I can't do that. I'm sorry. It's just, not in my wheelhouse at this moment. And then effectively use time. This is big. Effectively use time. And remember, as you use time, the acronym OHIO. Man, every single person listening to me now has to know when you're organized and you're efficient, it opens doors for you. People who are high-level leaders, people that are CEOs, top of their game, doing what they're doing in whatever profession, they value more than anything else the organized person. The worst feeling in the world is to look at somebody you have close to you at the table in a position of influence, and you ask them for something, and then every single time the response is, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You're thinking, man, you're clearly not organized, because if you were organized, that would have been done. Sometimes you got to be so organized that you're willing to even share responsibilities to get a thing done. Sometimes that's what it takes. So as a leader, I'm cognizant of that. I'm cognizant of all of that. And I'm grateful for all of you today. I want to thank you for listening to Next Level Leader Podcast. I want to thank you for following me. Follow me. Come on, follow me. I'll see it. Joseph Walker 3. Make sure that you are connecting with the resources that we have. See, I'm going to get that leader out of you. I'm going to make you the leader that God has ordained for your life. No fear, just straight leadership talk. This is what it takes, guys. And it is more than possible. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for being connected. Thank you for sharing the love. Know that I love you. Know that I appreciate you. Now, here's the deal. I want you to get my new book, Leadership and Loneliness. Go out there on Amazon. Let it bless you. I guarantee you, it will be a life changer for you. Go get it and watch how God will bless you. Well, thank you so much. Once again, I'm Dr. Joseph Walker III. You can find me on Instagram at Joseph Walker 3. You can find me out there on the web, Joseph Walker 3. Thank you so much. Know that I love you. Know that I appreciate you. And I pray the Lord will continue to make his face shine upon you. May God bless you and may God keep you. That's our prayer. Amen. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's podcast. I want you to subscribe at iTunes, cpnshows.com, or whatever podcasts are downloaded. I also want you to follow me on Instagram at Joseph Walker 3. I look forward to connecting